All right, partner, keep on rolling, baby. I have worn the same makeup for almost 7 years. So we're gonna just dial this in and see why the heck do I wear the makeup that I wear that's a cream and the difference between a liquid. They are two completely different makeups and you have to go about them differently too. So here we are. Let me show you this. There's a big difference between a liquid and a cream foundation. Do you wanna know why? Because with a cream foundation, you can get right to the point with where you want a specific color. And with a liquid foundation, it's a lot harder. The liquid foundation also moves a lot, right? And the cream foundation, it goes right where you want it. So I'm gonna show you the two different things that I do. So with a cream foundation, I wear more than one foundation color so I can customize to my face. With the liquid foundation, I also don't hydrate a lot on the cream side because a cream foundation is gonna help hold in that hydration. So when you have your sunscreen on, your sunscreen can act as a moisturizer already as well. Whereas a liquid foundation, if you are, this one's almost gone. With a liquid foundation, if you're wanting more, like your skin is a little on the dry side, but you need more hydration to help things glow, you have to be putting on more moisturizer than you would with a cream. A cream requires less. It requires less across the board, less for all that. With a liquid, you see a lot of people who are applying a setting spray after the makeup, before the makeup, however they feel that goes. With a cream, if you use the right sunscreen for your skin type, the cream can just put on the sunscreen. And maybe I do like to take a moisturizer before I apply my cream foundation. And I do like to take the cream and just put it right there. Woo, not there. Right in the trough. And I'll let that sit and absorb before I put on my before I put on my sunscreen. And that's the only thing I do for moisturizing because the cream is gonna take care of your skin in that way. So I'm gonna show the application process that I do for a liquid and what I do for a cream and show you how that kind of comes about. So I will kind of go in the phases, in the stages of what I do. So with a cream foundation, I personally like to start with a contour or a bronzer because I can use far less makeup and far less foundation when I do it that way, which means the skin gets to be left with more of the glow of your natural skin showing when you go about it in that way. So the more your actual skin can show through, the more you can get a glow. Even if you want a heavier hand of makeup, but if you can create the skin to show more in here, you are set up for success a lot better without feeling that you have to apply a ton of makeup. So I always start with my contour, my bronzer first. And this is just personal preference. You do not have to do this, but with the Seint cream, I want to teach people, because this is called a 3D foundation. It's called the 3D foundation because you are using the whole face as your foundation, the whole system as a foundation, because we're adding depth through it. We're using the makeup to utilize it in that way. Next, I'm gonna go in with my foundation and just put the foundation where I feel that I need it. So I never hit where my pores are the biggest. I hit those last when I don't have as much onto the brush. And any texture skin, I hit it very, very lightly. And you can always go through and do one layer first and kind of get things taken care of, get things wrapped up, get things how you want it to be. You can use a different brush. That was a light-handed brush, just based off of personal preference. You can use different brushes for how you like to apply your makeup. So I also use a darker color in here because that's where all my damage is. Where here I go a little bit lighter and I go darker here because again, I'm darker there. So I'm using a couple colors throughout the face to really pinpoint what my problem area needs. Just like so, Okay, and now I'm gonna show you that foundation using a liquid. Okay, so I want to go in with multiple colors first. People can use a sponge, they use a brush, they use whatever their heart desires. I also find that I have a harder time blending, matching perfectly with my liquid, but I put that and I try and stipple where my texture is, not sweep. Where I don't have texture, I don't care as much. And then I try and bring in another color where I need to be warmer. Come on, little lady. There we go. And sometimes I'm gonna keep that with a stipple and add in this other color. And it does get harder for me to match things up so perfectly like I like to match it with a cream. This also smells like makeup, whereas my cream doesn't smell like makeup. The one thing though with a foundation that's a liquid is that people like to just sweep it really, really fast. But if you're trying to go with the theory of making it so if you have textured skin here, you need to go warmer in color. If you use the same all over foundation color, which lots of people say that you should, you would need to do a darker color throughout the face to show less texture here, which means you're gonna be too dark within the neck. And so that's gonna make a difference. Okay, then on this side, I would go in, I would take more of my foofy brush and then I would add that bronzer. The other thing I like about a cream bronzer is if I get it in a place I don't want it, it's not stuck there. But with a powder, if I mess up, I gotta redo things. Okay, so there's that side. Sorry, let me bring clarity to that. So this is a powder bronzer that I'm putting onto the cheek, not a cream. I could use, I have a Rare Beauty, but that's also a cream contour stick that I could throw into that and bring that in as well. I just messed that up. Dang, it was already looking really good before. This is one of the things that I did not mean to do that. I'm just gonna stipple that back on there. Try and wake that up more and even it out. Okay, and then I could even go in and add more detail like I just did on that side and contour it just a little more with my cream and wake up that contour line even more. So, okay, so see the softness on this side. I had to fix what I messed up on that side. I didn't mean to. Okay, now I have my cream blush. I'm gonna come in here. I like to apply a cream blush first with my finger. Okay, and then I have my blush in this one that I will add. This is a powder blush. So this is what I all used before I started wearing this makeup. And then once I started using Seint and changing things up. Okay, now I'm gonna add this powder illuminator. Get on that glow. And then on this one, I'm going to add this illuminator that actually brings color and warmth into my face with a cream and bring it all in together. So with your coloring, the thing I like about cream is I can kind of do it in layer, like soften, like I could wear it lighter and lighter and lighter. And then if I decided I wanted it to be a little more, I can add more and work in stages. With a powder, I feel like I'm just stuck with how I do it. If I got too much on the brush at first, I'm hosed and that's how it goes. But my goal for this was never to kind of outshine one from the other. My goal for this was to show you evenly kind of how the two work as far as like bringing a natural glow to your look. That's what I want to show you most of all. So I'm just gonna line my lips just a little bit. I'm gonna put on a really basic neutral lip color. And then we're gonna compare the two up close, okay? So this is kind of how it's boiling down between the two. So on this side of my face is all the cream, okay? This is just all the cream from the palette of Seint, where everything is in one palette, depending on how big your palette is, that type of thing. I actually prefer an even bigger palette than this. I prefer this size palette, and so I kind of had to work in between these two because I like to actually have 3 foundation colors to just make my day. Okay, next, so everything was a cream. Now on this side, we had a liquid foundation, and we had a powder bronzer, that liquid contour stick, a powder blush, and a powder illuminator. And I want you to kind of zoom in and see how that texture sits on this textured area that I have right there. And then I want you to see how it sits on this textured area that I have right there. So anytime we introduce more makeup to a textured spot, even though I have shine sitting on that, it's taking away that because the dullness of the matte that the powder brings really magnifies that texture more and more and more. So the more makeup I have there, even though I have that shine that the makeup gave me, it's artificial. Now on this side, I shouldn't have even put on an illuminator because you would have naturally seen that I already had a shine even without it. Because the goal for this side is to just let your skin shine as much as possible. If I want to go in and add a little bit more foundation, I can. If you like if you were somebody who liked a heavier hand, and all I would do is take a brush like this is called the powder brush, and I would hit those areas that I really want to hit just a little more, not so much up under the eye, all the way up under the eye, but just hitting key places to really finish out that look. And then bring things all in together just a little bit more. And that was without putting any concealer on right in here, brightening up that, and I would even want to clean this line up right in here too. So the more you put on of this, the more it's going to show that texture. So I hope that this kind of broke down the two for you of why I chose a makeup that I've continued to wear for 7 years versus doing one like this, especially when I have that texture that's on my face. As far as how this sits, it does not have a tackiness. It will only have a tackiness if you get too much. If you put on a glossy lip and cheek that's glossy, you will kind of feel that movement of that. But if you don't like that, you can take a powder and put onto it. You can take a sponge, you can take whatever, but you can take a powder and place that on it. But here's the thing. I like my face to have natural shine. And so I would just leave it to have that, even though a gloss would do that to it, I would just have the gloss that stay right to that area. But that can actually create an awesome stay power too. And then I would just tap one more time. I'd have that stay power from that and then just tap the lightest amount of those other colors to hit back over it. And it really doesn't bring on a lot of tacky too. You just sealed it with a powder, but now you have that glow.
It looks more natural on that side. And that one looks more thick.
Does it?
And not natural, no. Yeah.
Seeing it in real life?
Yeah. Since the videographer knows best.
Since the videographers. But that's really nice too, because a lot of people can't tell in the video too, like you're seeing it in person.
Just looks thicker and not as natural on that side. I think your blush and contour is a little harder on that to begin with, but even just the...
Yeah, because I did mess up that one little part, so I had to fix it.
But overall, just the texture, it looks a lot more natural and like light. Not that I know what makeup feels like.
It looks light.
It looks like it would feel better on your face.
That's good to know. It is. This one is definitely stronger. And I could, if I was somebody that liked that stronger look, I could make this side have a stronger look too. But this one was forced because I just made it look like it wasn't even in there when I went back with the other products, and so I had to do that. So that was kind of going against it, but that's the difference in the two. So I hope this helped you with a liquid foundation versus a cream foundation. I know I did use some powder in there as well, but I just wanted to walk you through like, why do I love a cream foundation so much? So this makeup that I used, it's from a company called Seint. I can custom color match people for it. I prefer to do it that way because heaven forbid, even the colors that I used, I spent 2 hours in an Ulta trying to find these colors that I wanted, and I ended up leaving like, oh, you know what? I'll just figure out something I can do with them. So I did do that, but I just love the ease of it. So I can custom color match you. You build the palette how you choose to build your palette, whatever size that you like. You can get a custom color match at fitmissionmakeup.com. And then from there, I tell you what colors are best for you. You go and order how your heart's desired. It's actually a really easy website to just flow through once you know the colors that you need. And that is that. I can link if you would like, or you can ask in the comments below if there's any of the products that I did use that you want, because you could prefer this look too. But I just wanted to show you the difference in the two. This is the side that I prefer more, with the ease of the product and how it can make the skin glow, especially the older that I get. But have a great day. I appreciate you. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and we'll talk to you